Hey guys, it's Mr. Schmidt here, and in this video we're going to use the production possibilities curve to model the idea of opportunity cost. So the first thing I want to do is go ahead and draw another production possibilities curve, so we can just practice that. And again, we're going to scale it 1 to 5. Now normally, this is the last time I will probably scale a PPC. Normally you don't do the numbers on the sides, but here we're going to. So at least when drawing it, sometimes you're given one with numbers, but in this case we're just gonna, and I'm gonna do my best to connect these. So it's probably not gonna look completely straight here, but we're gonna do our best, and that's all that counts, right? So yeah, that's close enough. I'm going to make these dots pretty big and cheat here. So, yeah, but you get the idea. It's we intend it to be a linear PPC. Now, we're not done here because we need to put our labels. So, again, we're going to go right back to chocolate chip cookies, except I'm going to put it on the x-axis this time, and sugar on the y-axis. So here's our PPC, just like we did from last time. And so let's go ahead and label a point. We're going to call this point A, and then we'll call this point B, okay? So let's say I want to move from point A to point B. Now, every combination on a PPC is equally efficient. Therefore, the combination that a society decides to produce is really up to them. It's their preference, it's their choice, what they value more of, sugar cookies or chocolate chip. What combination do their people want? So if we're moving from A to B, the question is, what is the opportunity cost of moving from A to B? And so we need to go ahead and define what opportunity cost is. And this is a very important term. So opportunity cost is the best, make sure you know that, the best thing given up. Okay? The best thing given up. Well, in this case, if we go from A to B, the question is, what are we giving up? And is it the best thing? In this case, the best thing is also the only thing, right? By best here, if we had a list of things we were giving up, the best thing would be the opportunity cost. But because the only thing we can possibly give up is either sugar cookies or chocolate chip cookies, that's the only thing, right? So by moving from A to B, what do we give up? Well, we give up a single sugar cookie, because we go from 4 sugar cookies being produced to 3, right? Because we were at, and I'll do the little dots here so you can see this easier, we're going from 4, 1 to 3 and 2. So we lose, so the opportunity cost of going from A to B, we lose 1 sugar cookie. Okay? And if I asked you, what do you gain? Well, going from A to B, we gain 1 chocolate chip cookie. We go from producing 1 chocolate chip cookie to 2. This is often called the opportunity benefit. You don't really need to know that term. It's not something you're going to see on an AP exam or another test, but it does exist as a term. But it's important we know, what do we give up. And it's also important to understand here that the PPC actually is modeling scarcity. We talked about in a previous video how scarcity is the idea we have limited resources, in this case fixed resources, but unlimited ones. We would love to make as many chocolate chip and sugar cookies as we can. We would love to make 20 sugar and 50 chocolate chip maybe, but we can't. The PPC shows us the boundary, the most we can make. And so if we want to make more of one type of cookie, that forces us to give up some of the other. In other words, it forces us to choose, which is something that we are stressing throughout the course, that economics is essentially the study of choice. And that's what the PPC is showing here. It's showing efficiency, it's showing opportunity cost, it's showing scarcity, it is showing choice, it's showing all kinds of different things. So this PPC is linear. And if we kept doing this, if we go from B to C and I asked you, what do you give up? It's still going to be 1 sugar cookie, right? And if I go from C to D, what am I giving up? Again, I'm giving up 1 sugar cookie. So it's always 1, 1, 1, 1. So we can conclude that a linear production possibilities curve has constant opportunity cost. And this is due to this idea of the perfect substitutability of resources. So what does that mean? This means that resources are equally suited to produce either good modeled in a PPC. In other words, I can take the resources used to make one good and easily switch those resources to be producing another good, right? So for instance, if I'm going from combination A to B, how easy is it to take some of the resources that I was using to make sugar cookies and then switch them to produce chocolate chip cookies? Well, pretty easy, right? Because the material used to make cookies is fairly similar, right? There's not that much difference. And so that's why we can use a linear PPC to model this, because it's easy to take resources used to make sugar cookies and switch them to chocolate chip cookies. So that's the idea of perfect substitutability of resources. How easy is it to switch from one good to the other? And in this case, it's perfect, right? It's very, very easy. But what happens if it's not easy? Well, then we get a very different shape for the PPC. So this time, we're going to draw a PPC without any numbers, and we're going to draw it like this. And so we're going to say this is baby dolls and planes. Okay? Two very different goods, right? And so we get this bowed out, concave PPC, right? And you notice that if I want to produce more baby dolls, I'm going to have to give up an increasing amount of planes, right? You see that? How I'm going to have to give up even more planes to produce more baby dolls, right? So this is the idea of a bowed out PPC. It has increasing opportunity cost, because if I want to produce more of the other good, I'm going to have to give up more and more and more of the original good. If I want to produce more planes, I'm going to have to give up an increasing amount of baby dolls. If I want to produce more baby dolls, I'm going to have to give up increasing amounts of planes the more planes I want to produce. So again, a bowed out PPC has increasing opportunity cost. And this is due to the imperfect substitutability of resources. And by that we mean that resources are not equally suited to produce either good modeled by a PPC. Okay? So the resources used to make baby dolls are very different from the resources used to make planes. And so it's very difficult if you have a factory producing baby dolls and you walk in one day and say, okay guys, now we're going to produce airplanes. Very, very different. You're going to have to fire a bunch of workers, put in ones that know how to build planes. You're going to have to expand the factory. You're going to have to acquire the materials. It's very difficult, and it's going to be very, very slow. And you're going to have to give up a lot of baby doll production to start producing even a single plane, let alone multiple planes. So that's the idea of opportunity cost and the production possibilities curve. Remember, I'm going to go back a couple slides here. Opportunity cost is the best thing given up when making a choice. In this case, with the production possibilities curve, whether it's linear or bowed out, it's how much of the other good are you giving up to produce more of the good that you want. So that's all for this tutorial on the production possibilities curve. Until next time, have a great day.